Okay, I know you guys just had a quiz on Gregor Mendel dominant recessive genetics, but I just want to get my 2 cents in here. So I'm just going to review, just sit back and enjoy this, or at least hopefully enjoy it. And we're just going to quickly review Gregor Mendel. This dude was a freak. First off, he was a mathematician, so before he did anything else in life, he became a very expert mathematician. He knew a great deal about probability and the way that numbers worked. That was one of the reasons he was able to do all the amazing things that he did. Dude grew pea plants for 30 years, which if you realize is a heck of a long time. If you ever have a chance, grow a pea plant. They're very, very pretty. They grow very, very easily. They're very fertile. And they have lots of pretty different colored flowers, and they grow in vines, which means they're really, really pretty. I've grown them many times, and they're quite fun to grow. He grew them for many, many years, and as he grew them, he paid attention to what he was doing. He also had the ability to mate any of the plants with each other that he chose, because plants are a little bit more simple than human beings. They do have a part that's like a penis and a part that's like a vagina, but it doesn't look anything like the ones that we have, and it's called a pistil and a stamen, and they have pollen, and it's very, very different than human genetics. But the idea is the same. You can take the pollen, which is the dude stuff, and you can sprinkle it on the stamen, which is the female stuff, and you can make babies, which usually are seeds. So Mendel used this to advantage, because what it meant is he could take any male he wanted, shake off the pollen, which is really easy. You can put it into a bag even. And then he would carry the bag over and pour it onto the female plant that he knew had the genetics that he wanted. So it was very easy for him to mate the plants that he wanted. In addition, pea plants grow very, very fast, and you can grow a full plant in about 60 days. This was important for Mendel because he wanted to be able to grow many, many plants very rapidly, and he didn't want to do 4 or 5 or 6. He wanted to do hundreds of them. So he would literally mate hundreds of males with hundreds of females, all of the types that he wanted, so he could mathematically identify what the hell was going on. So that was very impressive. Now he followed many different traits in the plants. He followed how tall they were, their height, what their seed colors were, what their seed shapes were, and a whole bunch of other. There's 8 or 9 or 10 different traits that Mendel studied. And for every different trait, he found that for most of these, there were 2 possible outcomes. For example, for height, there was one outcome of a tall plant and a second outcome of a short plant. And so he usually would give these little symbols. And what he started to realize is that certain types of plants won. In other words, if you took a tall plant and mated it with a short plant, you almost always got tall plants. And so he said that tall was winning, and so he gave it an uppercase T, and he gave the gene that wasn't winning a lowercase t. These different forms of a gene are called alleles. Alleles. So alleles are different forms of a gene. So for many genes,